Over my career, I've worked on all kinds of topics and periods to do with Canada, French Canada, natives and missionaries and so on. But at the moment, for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been working on a topic that covers all of North America in the colonial period and it's about land. It's basically how land becomes property in the process of colonization. So it's both how settlers set up new ways of owning land, and natives are dispossessed. And normally those are seen as two separate processes, but I see them as two sides of the same coin. Understanding is always better than misunderstanding. And I'm not engaged in applied research. I'm not saying, okay, this is the way you solve concrete problem X. My object is to understand the process of colonization, which is what made Canada, what made the United States, made Mexico and other countries in the Western Hemisphere. It's a fundamental kind of part of the history of the world and of the human race. And our understanding of it, I believe, has been clouded by concepts that we have inherited from the ideology of conquerors. Our way of framing things, the language we bring to these topics has been, to an important extent, shaped by the justificatory stories that colonizers and conquerors tell themselves. And the better we understand in a different way these fundamental processes, I think the less deluded we will be. So this to me is part of what historical and humanities research is about, is us kind of growing up intellectually and coming to terms with the realities that shaped our world instead of telling ourselves fables and stories that make us feel better. And I think that's much more important than, adjudicating some case over water rights or anything in that kind of practical realm. All that kind of work I think is important and essential and has to be done, and possibly my research will have something to do with it, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's not what's driving me in this business. There's a sort of nerd quality about historians, there's a thrill we get in going into libraries and archives and just sort of looking at documents that were written 200-300 years ago and trying to get some reading about, who's writing this and why and what does this mean and what kind of clues, where are they lying and where, in what ways are they providing us with clues. And there's a rush to that, once you've kind of, mastered some of the techniques involved in deciphering the handwriting and that kind of stuff. It's fun. But it's gradually immersing yourself into lives of other people who died a long, long time ago and felt and acted and thought way differently than us. They're more similar than you might expect, and they're more different than you might expect.